Alright guys, welcome to your Excel 2019 certification study guide. This is going to be pretty much a just run through of skills that you need to know for the Microsoft Excel 2019 version of the certification exam. Alright, and if you have a link to my files, we're going to start off in the OneDrive here with the file called Project 1, and the file itself is called Case Study. Alright, and when you open that up, go ahead and download it and open it up in the actual desktop application, not the actual online version of Office. Okay, and if you are looking for the questions that I'm going through back in the OneDrive where you got this document from, you're going to see at the very bottom Excel 2019 practice questions, and that brings you to this sheet right here. The way that I have it organized is that each file that I put in that drive does correspond to a file name here. So everything that I'm going to do for the following questions is going to be using the case study file, if that makes sense. So open that up and we're just going to go through this very quickly. Alright, you can always pause me and rewind me as needed. Alright, so on the orders worksheet, it says format the table so that every other row is shaded. Alright, and this is a formatting method called banded rows. Alright, under the Table Tools Design tab, when you click in a table, if you haven't clicked in there yet, click in there and you'll get your Table Tools Design tab. You're going to see something over here called banded rows, and just put a check in the box. And that's all you got to do for number 1. Number 2 says on the orders worksheet, sort the tables to order the records by delivered to, with orders in Toronto coming first and orders from Ottawa coming second. Then sort the orders alphabetically from A to Z by customer type field. Finally, sort the orders from oldest to newest by order date field. Alright, so we're going to do a triple level sort. Alright, so you're going to go to the Data tab and you're going to see a sort window pop up. Alright, and we know we're going to sort by 3 levels, so I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to say add level twice. The first level says it wants us to do sort the table by delivered to with order, sort the table to order the records by delivered to with orders in Toronto. Okay, so delivered to. With orders in Toronto coming before Ottawa, that means Z to A. Alright. Then sort the orders alphabetically by the customer type field. So customer type, A to Z. Finally, sort the orders oldest to newest by the order date. So we're going to say order date, and we're going to say oldest to newest, and say OK. Alright. And your entire table will go ahead and readjust itself and sort itself out. On the orders worksheet, enter a formula in cell I2 that uses an Excel function to return the average order amount based on the values in the order amount column. Make sure the cell is formatted for currency. This is just an average function. And under the Formulas tab, under AutoSum, you're going to see that we have our 5 most popular functions here. And if you click on average, you can click on the letter F and just press enter on your keyboard. And it'll take that whole column and go ahead and average it out for you. To format for currency, I'm going to right click inside the cell and I'm going to go to format cells. And then I'm going to go ahead and select currency. Alright? And I'm going to say OK. On the orders amount worksheet, use an automatic formatting method to format the cells in the next amount column that contain above average values by applying green fill with dark green text. Use a technique that automatically updates if the formatting the values change. Alright, so we're basically going to apply conditional formatting, the order amount totals worksheet. So we're going to switch worksheets here. Use an automatic formatting method to format the cells in the net amount column, this whole column. Conditional formatting is right here under the Home tab, and you're going to see a whole group called conditional formatting. And they want us to do above average values, and that's called top bottom rules, and you're going to see above average. And all you have to do is change the color to green and green. Green fill with green text. And say OK. Alright, number 5. On the order amount totals worksheet, enter a formula in J2. J2. Oh, I can already see we're going to do a max formula here. That uses an Excel function to return the net amount value of the individual order with the highest net amount value. So we want to do formulas. We're going to do auto sum again. This time we're going to say max. And we're going to go ahead and click on column H, and it's going to pick the individual with the highest order amount. All right? On the orders worksheet, use an Excel data tool to remove all records with duplicate invoice number values from the table. Do not remove any other records. Okay? So let's go back, orders worksheet. We're going to say table tools design, and over here you're going to see remove duplicates. All right, and we're going to pretty much uncheck everything except for this top one right there called invoice number, because they only want us to remove duplicates from that. If they just said remove duplicates from the table, I would leave everything checked. And then I'm going to say OK. 2 duplicates were found, 124 remain. Unique values remain. On the orders totals worksheet, use an Excel method that will subtotal. So order amount totals worksheet, we're switching worksheets again. Order amount totals worksheet, use an Excel method that will add a subtotal to the net amount column for each change in the customer type. Make sure there's a page break between groups. So this is pretty tricky. It's under the data tab, and it's called subtotal. And if you read it from top to bottom, it says at each change in, all right? And it says in the question, it says at each change in customer type, it wants us to use a sum function, or it says to use a subtotal, which is a sub function. There's only one thing in here that would do any kind of subtotaling, and that would be a sum, all right? And it wants it to go to the net amount column with a page break between groups. All right? Is that right? To the net amount column. Yep. And say OK. Give your computer a second, and this is kind of what happens. All right? I can now tell you how much exactly I sold from the business group. And if you scroll down, it does the same thing at each change in the customer type. On the orders worksheet, name the range F2 to F9 business. All right. So on the orders worksheet, we're going to go ahead and select F2 to F9, and under the formulas tab, you're going to see right in the middle that you have something called a name, a defined name, and you have a name manager, and you have something called defined name. Go ahead and click on defined name. You're going to type in the word business with a capital B. You shouldn't really have to touch anything else as long as you do select your cells beforehand. So go ahead and just click OK. All right. Remove hidden properties and personal information from the workbook. Do not remove any other content. Under the File tab, I'm going to go ahead and say check for issues and inspect document. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I'm going to inspect for everything. I'm not going to uncheck anything. In fact, I'm going to make sure that everything is checked, and I'm going to say inspect. And I'm just going to remove document properties and personal information. And then say close. Okay? And that's it for part 1. All right, we're going to move on in part 2, so look for part 2 of the video. And we're going to use the file called Case 2 Scholarship, Case 2 data file, excuse me. All right, and that's it for part 1.